Hello everyone, I'm Dylan. Yes I am! Travis from No More Heroes. See him, I got the sideburns. Anyways, we're playing Dagon and we're going into the giant pit of death.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Do we even have to go there?
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
This is a giant mouth. Ain't no fool. Stop.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and
Kevin!
object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
Oh, rock?
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Okay. Did we just get closer to the death monster?
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Hey, it's Mono from Monster Rancher.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express. For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young,
It's the poneglyphs from One Piece.
I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith,
Yes.
whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
That rock over there? What's happening? Oh.
Now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Can we just look at it? No closer?
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope.
Stop texting me!
Across the
Scare
chasm,
me.
the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith,
What's happening, man?
on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
They're playing a game. It's called Sunflower Death Monster.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
Crap! So they all worshipped squid?
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
That's a Spibblebop, a Grass Stomper, Steven, Glorfy, and Blobbo.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
And a giant card? Plant. Okay. What?
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré.
Looks like the warpers from Subnautica.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Oh, ladies.
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well.
It's their waifu.
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
And the one on the far right probably be the most evil.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Probably the right one would be my best friend.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
Alright, let's leave this place.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
Don't scare me.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was showing the act of killing a whale, represented as
oh my goodness!
larger than himself.
No!
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness.
I don't like ocean stuff.
But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Okay.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist,
Okay.
I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
Why?
Then, suddenly,
No!
I saw it.
Where is it?
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh, shoot!
Loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the Monolith,
What's up?
about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Run, you fool! The crabby
I
hands!
sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Why are you singing? Leaving race! No!
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Open the door!
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Hurry, leave!
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
Okay.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Hey, thank you, babe!
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
I saw something crazy! Kinda cute, though.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Okay, I was like, something's gonna be at the door.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist
Where you at?
and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Look at all this! It's a fish manky? He was mistaken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name. Dagon means fish. Deity. Alright? The Estoic Order of Dagon. Who's playing music over here?
But soon
Don't join.
perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
I knew it. The Lareth. He was born in August. He's my best friend. Scary time. Good for evil. do I go? What you want? Clocko? Oh. Obviously.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Like skooma.
So now, I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men. Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat, after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
I wanted to know.
Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own
No!
obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal...
No!
The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
No!
It shall not find me. God, that hand! The window! The window!
Run! He's fine. Okay. I liked it. Okay. Well, that was kind of spooky. I don't like water things. Should be it. Did I miss a lot? Dang, I suck. Well, you guys can find him. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you eventually. I don't like scary water things. There's stuff in the very bottom of the sea. It can stay there. I'm not touching it. It's not bothering me. I'm not bothering it. It can stay there. All right. Stay out of the water. Safe for you down there.